Hi everyone, my name is Russian Adam, and today I would love to speak about Kinam, this wonderful, mysterious, and a bit controversial topic. So I will do my best to cover 5 points. First of all, why Kinam is controversial and what is Kinam. Second of all, I will speak about what set it apart from any other type of Agarwood. Thirdly, I will speak about different types of Kinam. Fourthly, I will try to do my best to describe how it actually smells, and we will go into it and smell different types of Kinam and see how it looks. And finally, I will try and describe the issue of plantation Kinam and what is my personal take on it. So let's go. What is Kinam and why it is so controversial? I believe it is just my personal opinion. I'm nowhere an expert in this particular topic. Just wanted to share a few of my thoughts. I've been introduced to Kinam maybe around 7 or so years ago when Kiara Zen was very generous to distribute tiny samples of green Vietnamese wild Kinam to many oud lovers all around the world. And I remember me with my dear friend Sultan Pasha at the time when I used to live in London together experienced this beautiful aromatic. And to be very honest with you, I was not impressed. I was not impressed at all. And I kept it, personal, and I knew that it is due to my personal preference. As a lover of very, very heavy animalics like deer musk, civet, ambergris, and animalic fermented, yes, barnyard, yes, funky Indian oud or Cambodian oud for that matter, I was seeking something more intense, something more moving in a sense of strength and intensity. And obviously Kinam it's not that. Kinam is a very, very delicate, a very, very well balanced aroma that you really need to take your time to appreciate and understand. So what is Kinam? That's where the controversy starts, because as funny as it might sound, but not many people agree to the definition of Kinam and how it is formed within Agarwood tree, whether it is a grade of Agarwood or it's an entire separate species of Agarwood. So I used to believe that Kinam is a grade of Agarwood, and it takes decades, maybe at least 100 years, for it to be formed within Agarwood tree. And any tree can have a Kinam inside. It can have different lower grades of Agarwood as well as Kinam located in the hard wood of the tree. And basically some say that it is a very resonated parts of Agarwood that's been very, very hard, and during the time they fossilized, and then again some reaction happened and those were softened to convert, like first they started as an oil, then they converted to resin during the decades, and then again something happened to them so that this resin, very hard fossilized almost resin, been converted back into oil, and it became a Kinam. Some say no, Kinam is a type of a tree, almost like a separate species of agarwood, and any agarwood within this particular species is Kinam agarwood. So I personally believe that, I used to believe that it really takes hundreds of years for Kinam to form, and it can be formed within any agarwood tree. Again, there are controversy regarding the origin of it. Is it only from Vietnam? Is it possible that it can come from China and other regions? But the point is that I used to believe that Kinam is a very, very, very old type grade of agarwood. So what sets Kinam apart from a regular agarwood? And is it actually agarwood, as some people seems to doubt it and be very, very skeptical about it? Even myself, when I tried it at first, as I told you, I was not really impressed, and I thought like it's not really worth it, because I can get the similar effect from burning other high quality agarwoods, whether it's Vietnamese, Indian or Indonesian. I can get amazing feelings and amazing scent profiles without spending that much money, and I was quite disappointed. So what actually set Kinam apart from regular agarwood? Again, according to our generous friend Kiara Zen, it's a number of reasons, a number of factors. So I believe, first of all, the main factor that proves that Kinam is agarwood, and it is superior agarwood, or as some say, the highest, the absolute, epitome of agarwood, is its chemical breakdown, its scientific analysis, its GCMS report. So there have been just one or two done so far, and we don't even know whether those are authentic and it can be relied upon, but we have what we have, and we deal with information that is available. And according to it, it is identical to agarwood, which basically proves that it is agarwood. However, the number of different compounds often at its extreme level. So if you have agarosperol, for instance, in regular agarwood, in Kinam it will be a much, much higher amount. And there are also different compounds in Kinam that are not present in regular agarwood. That also kind of proves that it is a very, very unique type of agarwood. But again, someone might come and say that, hey, it actually can prove that it is not agarwood. But as I mentioned earlier, general comparison of this analysis shows that the basic compounds of Kinam are identical to agarwood, but they are present in a very, very high concentration. And this basically proves and shows us why Kinam has such a complex, wonderful, intense aroma. This is basically the second most important thing that set apart Kinam from any other type of agarwood. Its appearance, is aroma, even at the room temperature, is extremely, extremely powerful and pleasant. I mean, it's not as powerful as civet or ambergris or deer musk, obviously, but in comparison to other types of very high quality agarwood, noticeably it is much, much more intense at room temperature. Another feature is that Kinam start to release and display all sorts of unbelievably beautiful, well balanced and very soft, delicate, gentle notes at 90 degrees Celsius. So when you heat it at 90 degree, it blooms with unbelievable, unimaginable notes that obviously you need to pay close attention to, and you need to listen and take your time to understand and appreciate. As I said, I myself at the very beginning was totally let down by this aroma, and I probably was not as patient as I supposed to be in order to fully, understand, analyze, comprehend, and reflect upon this aroma. But only at 90 degrees Celsius. This is like, a gentle temperature of Russian sauna. It's really, very, very soft temperature. 90 degree Celsius, this type of agarwood releases beautiful aroma. And very high quality regular agarwood does not display aroma as intense, as complex at this temperature. You need to heat. Just recently, a few minutes ago, I've been heating some sinking Vietnamese agarwood, very high quality Vietnamese agarwood, cut from a very, very large sinking piece, solid, completely solid. And I've been heating it at 90 degrees, and I was not getting much of the aroma. Obviously, it is also fragrant at room temperature, but not as much as the Kinam. I would say 5 or even 10 times less fragrant. So at 90 degrees, it was giving off some very, very, gentle waves. Nothing too complex, nothing too intense, nothing that you can truly enjoy. And I had to warm it up until 125 Celsius, and then I started to get more beautiful notes. And even this temperature is not enough for very solid, hard, sinking hardwood of regular agarwood. It needs a bit more, maybe 150, 170, 200, 250 degree to really get all the flavors out. Yet Kinam shows an amazing spectrum of notes only at 90 degrees. So to break it down simply, what sets Kinam apart from regular agarwood? First of all, its chemical composition, its appearance, its flavor, its aroma. What are different types of Kinam? We could speak about it in regards to its appearance, how it looked like. In this sense, we have, again, I'm referencing my colleague Chiara Zen. You have basically three main different types of Kinam in terms of its appearance. Shin Kinam or Chiara. Shin Chiara means a young Kinam, if you might call it so. It is yellowish type of color. It is not sinking. It is not very matured, but it has all the flavors, or most of the flavors of the matured Kinam. Then you have your green Kinam, which looks kind of green, golden, shiny, with a honey hue to it. It's very oily and very, very rich in essential oil. This is your typical standard, very high quality, very mature Kinam. And then you have your black Kinam, which is very, very hard, solid, and sinking, and also have a very, very strong flavor to it. There are also different categories and types of Kinam according to its scent. Different schools of thought divided into different names, different colors. You have your white Kinam, yellow, dark, black, black, green, and so on. So there are slight nuances in the aroma that makes people go, okay, this is white Kinam, this is green, and so on and so forth. The basic is the same, just slight nuances. It might be a bit sweeter, might be a bit floral, a bit buttery, a bit more bitter, if you will. So that's how you differentiate Kinam in terms of its scent profile. And now we're coming to one very important question, one of the most important questions: how it actually smells. So here I have Kinam wild white Kinam tincture, core tincture actually with ambergris. Here I have cultivated plantation Kinam and tiny sample of its tincture that I will demonstrate to you. I have here cultivated yellow Chinese Kinam. Here I have small chips of green cultivated Kinam. Here I have white wild Vietnamese Kinam. I believe green and white Kinam, both wild and both in powder. I also have a tiny sample of a tincture of the wild Kinam. I have tiny sample of a tincture of regular agarwood dust, and I have tiny sample tincture of sinking very high quality Vietnamese agarwood. So let's see all of this, let's compare how it smells and burn some of it. I would love to start by burning tiny bit of wild Vietnamese, I believe green Kinam. So just take a tiny bit. My burner is set to 90 degrees Celsius. It's a very soft, gentle temperature. So as soon as I place Kinam dust on the burner, it releases this wonderful, very soft, subtle, gentle, extremely delicate, creamy, sweet aroma. It's very creamy, it's very buttery, and it's very sweet, like agarwood type of sweet, not vanilla, tonka bean type of sweet, but agarwood sweetness and extreme creaminess and butteriness. When I breathe and inhale it deeply and try to, capture it, analyze it to the best of my ability, I feel a bit of coolness, a bit of mintiness. It's not obvious, it's not into your face, but after this agarwoody, amazing deep sweetness and soft butteriness and creaminess, I get this picture of greenness, very soft, gentle mintiness. And this is the aroma that you want to breathe in and inhale until as long as you can, and you breathe deeply and you keep discovering. It seems simple, it seems not sophisticated, not complex, but actually it is. And deeper you breathe it in, the more nuances you kind of find, left and right and here and there. And as long as you're breathing it in, you're enjoying it and you really cannot stop. On top of that, it delivers this wonderful and very hard to describe feeling, the feeling you might get from hitting very high grade. For me personally, Vietnamese agarwood, only Vietnamese agarwood gives this particular feeling when you gently hit it and inhale it. It's somewhere between very deep relaxation when you almost falling asleep but not quite yet, and you feel this, sweetness, you feel this amazing comfortable feeling. That's the best way I can put it. So inhaling Kinam really delivers this type of feeling. And it's not to say that it is exclusive to Kinam. I get this feeling from a high quality Vietnamese Agarwood as well. Perhaps not that intense and not that satisfying, but it's similar. It's very, very similar. Here I'm hitting Plantation Kinam. So let's compare it. Obviously it is different. Obviously it is less matured, and you feel, a bit of woody, a bit of more woodiness, definitely. But this milky sweetness, this creaminess and butteriness is also present. And the most exciting thing is that the effect is also present. I get a very, very similar feeling, yet much milder from burning Plantation Kinam. I get this feeling, and it's quite similar, And I burned Plantation Kinam. I had a session, a very, very long session, and it made me, so relaxed, and I think eventually I've fallen asleep. And I finally realized that it is actually not a good alternative, but it manages somehow to come, quite close. And I with confidence can say that this is a same type of Agarwood. Like you can clearly say, for instance, Indian Agarwood. You can differentiate and identify Indian Agarwood. Whether you burn some, low grade, Muri or whatever, and then someone burn for you, I don't know, sinking grade Indian Agarwood. You will see the similarity. Obviously there will be a huge difference, but you will clearly see the similarity. The same thing here, I'm burning wild Kinam. Yes, it's more intense. Yes, it's more sweet. It's more creamy. It has this stunning mintiness, and it just gets you right away. Right away you start to feel something, and it's only 90 degrees. Yet here it's like 150 degrees, and it's more woodiness. Yes, it's a bit less complex, noticeably less intense, but the signature is here. It is buttery, it is very, very sweet, very pleasant, and the gentle mintiness is there, yet it's overwhelmed by the woody, sweet woody aspect of it. But I was skeptical. I thought Plantation Kinam cannot exist. Why? Because I believe that Kinam takes centuries and centuries to develop. So how come a young tree produce something that is similar or smell, kind of identical, has a similar signature, when it's only, I don't know, less than 10 years old? I thought this is, nonsense, this is rubbish. But then when I got to try it and compare it side by side, I became confident that, Kinam is probably a separate, unique species of agarwood, and even younger trees can produce Kinam that smells somewhere near to the wild variety. And it was really an amazing discovery to me, that's I'm sharing with you now. So we try to describe how it smells, and does it have a mind buzz? Definitely, to me, it produces some sort of feeling of, relaxation, as I tried my best to describe it to you. Just a feeling when you almost kind of falling asleep, but not yet, and you feel this warm, comfortable, very sweet, feeling of, coziness and relaxation and happiness in a way. So this is, as close as I can get trying to describe the feeling. And you get it almost immediately by, carefully listening to wild Kinam. Only at 9 degrees, and this lasts and lasts. You can have, several hours sessions smelling this, because you're not actually burning it, you're hitting it so gently. Even a human at 90 degree, can enjoy in Russian sauna. It will last so long, and it smells so wonderful. And to me personally, increasing the temperature increase the effect that it gives. And with the plantation Kinam, the mind buzz is also there. Yes, it's much milder, and you need to hit it stronger. But as I told you, at one particular session, that was quite a long session, and I hit it, quite hard, and I inhaled it, I almost felt asleep. That's how much, relaxed I became. So I definitely can say that wild Kinam has a strong mind buzz effect, as well as plantation Kinam. So let's talk few words about plantation Kinam. Many people doubting it, as I mentioned. I was one of them, probably for the reason that they believe it takes centuries for Kinam to be formed within the agarwood tree, and obviously how come it can be formed within a couple of years in the plantation. But actually now I believe in it, and I do believe that it is a very, very unique and rare species of agarwood. So how it's done? To the best of my knowledge, Kinam, older Kinam trees are found in wild or in the places where they preserved and protected, and then tiny branches cut off the tree and cloned separately. So they cut just as any plant, you can cut a branch, you can put it in the water, the roots start to grow, and then you can grow it separately, and it becomes like a clone plant from a mother tree. So the same thing they do with the Kinam. They cut the branches and then they grow it in the plantation. I also heard that they might collect smaller trees from the wild and grow them in the plantation, and again it's probably done through cloning. And then you have many different stages, many different ways they do it, many different grades. There is a first generation, second, third, and so on and so forth. It's really complicated, but the basic understanding, what I get from it, is like that. It's not actually a tree from a seed, but it is a clone from a mother tree. I'm also very excited to announce and let you know that I am conducting plantation Kinam distillation, and this is something really unbelievable to me personally. It's a historical moment, as an experiment, you know, as a endeavor. It's something that I'm so excited about that I really hardly can hold, you know, my excitement. And this particular Kinam I'm distilling, and probably in the next video I will show you the details and I will take you to the distillation, and we will see how it goes, you know, how much oil is coming and how long it takes and how it smells and so on and so forth. So it's really, really exciting, and I'm really looking forward to it. I'm not yet sure if it's going to be for sale, if I'm gonna keep it, if I'm gonna use it in one of my perfumes. We will see how it goes. I definitely will send the sample of it, GCMS analysis to be done, and then we will further see and study how it differs from a regular agarwood oil. I'm really looking forward to that. I'm also tincturing some wild white Kinam here with the ambergris. This is a unique, very, very unique concept that I came up with. I was having a session and I had this idea already, and then I tested it out. I had a session of Kinam with the ambergris on the burner, and it was out of this world experience at very, very low temperature, just 90 degrees. So then I decided, okay, let me tincture it to capture exactly or nearly the same scent of, you know, very, very gently, almost room temperature smell of Kinam with ambergris together. This is just something I'm truly looking forward to. The concentration is very, very high. Obviously it's very little, as I do not have much of wild Kinam powder, and I will demonstrate you the experimental tinctures of the plantation Kinam versus wild. They've been tinctured at the same time. As you can see, the color is quite different. And then I have regular agarwood dust, I mean good quality wild agarwood dust versus sinking Vietnamese agarwood tinctures. Both are lighter color than the Kinam tinctures. Thank you so much for joining me during this lovely discussion, and I will take you to my distillation and show you my next video how I am distilling plantation Kinam. Thank you so much. See you then.